Hi, I'm Amanda from I Am Baker, and I am always on the hunt for the perfect cake. This cake is a funfetti cake. So we're basically just taking a fantastic white cake recipe and then adding some really colorful sprinkles to it. And then we're kind of gonna do a fun decorating technique to put it over the top. So the next birthday that you have coming up in your life, you can make this cake and it will blow everyone's mind. So let's dive into this recipe. You wanna start with a stand mixer, and I do recommend using a mixer for the recipe. If you have a handheld, you could use that as well, but you're gonna wanna give it a little bit more time so you can incorporate more air into your first couple ingredients, which is, of course, butter and sugar. You do want your butter to be at room temperature so that it can really incorporate beautifully with the sugar. And then next, we're going to add in some shortening. It's only a little bit of shortening, but what this does is it really helps the cake crust beautifully on top. So you get this like gorgeous light brown flakiness on top that is just these glorious bits of cake, and it's so good. It's a really important ingredient, so don't leave it out. Next, we're going to add in eggs, and this is a really big recipe, so you're gonna need 5 eggs. Extra large or large eggs work, and you wanna add them in one at a time and let them incorporate into the batter after each addition. And then you're gonna add your vanilla, and you want a good quality vanilla. And this is kind of the extent of our wet ingredients. Now in a separate bowl, you're going to add in 3 cups of flour, and to that, a little bit of baking powder, and then just a pinch of salt. Now we have our dry ingredients, and then we have one final wet ingredient, which is a cup of whole milk. I don't recommend using skim or anything lighter than whole. You really want the fat, the beautiful fats in that whole milk to complement your recipe. So you're gonna start and end with your dry ingredients. So we're gonna take that flour mixture and add it to our butter mixture with your mixer on low. You're gonna do about 1/3. And then you wanna add in half of your whole milk, let those ingredients incorporate, add some more dry ingredients, add the remaining of your milk, and then finish with your flour mixture. And let those ingredients just come together in your mixture. You want it fully incorporated, but we don't want to overbeat our cake batter. Now you can turn your mixer off, and you can take the bowl and you can add in the best ingredient, which is our rainbow sprinkles. I love, love, love using rainbow sprinkles in baking, but it's even more fun when you get to add it into the cake. So I do recommend using jimmies. They're commonly referred to as jimmies, and they're a little bit longer in shape. The next step is kind of important, and that's preparing your pans. Anytime you're using rainbow jimmies in a cake batter, you wanna make sure that you have parchment lining your pans. I used 3 8-inch round pans. I sprayed them. You're gonna wanna divide your batter between those 3 pans, and it's roughly 2 to 2 1/4 cups of batter per pan. Pop it into your oven anywhere from 25-35 minutes. You'll wanna keep a close eye on it at 350 degrees, and then you're gonna wanna take them out and cool to room temperature. So now that our cakes are all cooled and looking gorgeous, we are going to decorate this cake. I whipped up a batch of whipped vanilla buttercream, and then I added just the tiniest little bit of purple to make it extra, extra white. So we want to put your first round on your cake stand, add a little bit of buttercream, and then repeat until you have your cake. It should be 3 big, beautiful layers. We're gonna cover this with another layer of our whipped vanilla buttercream, and if your cakes are chilled enough, you can actually get away without doing a crumb coat. But if you need to, go ahead and do a crumb coat, let the cake sit for about 30 minutes or pop it in the fridge. So now that we've got our cake covered in a beautiful layer of blemish-free whipped buttercream, I'm going to take an open star tip and pipe out dollops around the top of the cake. And then our final, most important, best part is adding a few more sprinkles on top, and you just wanna sprinkle them around the dollops so they fall beautifully in the center of the cake, around the sides of the cake, any which way. People are gonna be blown away by this beautiful cake. Not only does it look gorgeous and is an awesome presentation, but it is one of the best tasting cakes you're ever going to make, promise. If you want the full recipe, head on over to iambaker.net.